we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has refuted their doubts from two angles. There are two angles of refutation against this amazement and this rejection of resurrection. As for the first argument, the first one is that when you look in the dunya, you see that there is the zalim, the tyrant, the oppressor. We see him, that the tyrant, he dies, yet he has not received a punishment and justice for what he did. So maybe there is a tyrant, he kills thousands and thousands and thousands of people. He steals their wealth. He does all sorts to the people, murders them brutally. And yet he dies, and his whole life was a life of enjoyment. He lived in his palace. He ate beautiful food. He had wealth, offspring. When he fell ill, he was cured. He didn't he had physicians and doctors and so on. But everything in his life was something that, there was no problem in his life. Yet he is oppressive and tyrannical. So when he dies, what happened to justice? How come he's got away with everything? And likewise the mazloom, the one who is oppressed, downtrodden, beaten, wealth confiscated, and he suffers a great deal. He dies. What happened to justice for him? Where are his rights? Where are his rights? Why have they been restored? Nothing. So he dies, having been oppressed all his life, and there is no justice. Likewise, the righteous person, he does good deeds, he gives charity, he be righteous towards his parents, he spends his life devoted with good manners, good behavior. He dies. Where's the reward for his ihsan? Where's the reward for his deeds? No reward. The evil person, he steals, cheats, lies, deceives, murders, violates the right which is due upon him. He doesn't fulfill them. He lives a life like this. Then he dies. What happened to justice? What happened to recompense, punishment? What happened to that? No justice. So, all of this indicates the necessity of a day of resurrection. A day of resurrection is necessitated just by observation, just by these kinds of observations, in which the zalim, the oppressor, will be taken for his oppression, in which the mazloom, the oppressed, will be given compensation and reward for the oppression he went through. And the righteous person will be rewarded for his righteousness. And the evil, sinful person will be punished for his evil and sin. How can the two be equal? How can the two be equal? And so this is an argument in the Quran. If there is no resurrection, it means that the zalim is the same as the mazloom. The oppressor is the same as the oppressed. And the mujrim, the criminal, is the same as the muhsin, the doer of good. This is what is necessitated. In fact, this is what you see amongst the atheists, the materialists. This is the reality of what their religion judges with. It necessitates that the most tyrannical of people, if you look in history, all of these, the tyrannical of people, Stalin, Mao Zedong, all these people, they killed tens and tens and tens of millions of people, wiped them out. That these people are no different to the righteous person. They are equivalent. How can that be? This is why? Because it's just matter, physical matter, bones, blood, flesh, neurons. That's all there is. Like for like. This is the actual reality of the deen of the Dahriya, the materialists. So Allah subhanahu, those who reject a resurrection. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He refuted all of this in the Quran in many different ways. And so from those ayat in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He refuted them, He said, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ. Shall we make those who are Muslimin, those who submit to Allah, worship Him alone, as the criminals. مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. What is with you? How do you judge? And he said likewise, أَمْ حَسِبَ الَّذِينَ اجْتَرَحُوا السَّيِّئَاتِ أَن نَجْعَلَهُمْ كَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَوَاءً مَحْيَاهُمْ وَمَمَاتُهُمْ سَاءَ مَا يَحْكُمُونَ. Shall we make those who commit evil deeds, and make them the same as those who believe and do righteous deeds, their life and death being equal? How evil it is how they judge. So all of this is like a moral argument. This is something like morally. How can this be correct and true? How can these people be equal? It is impossible for them not to be equal. This shows the necessity that the day of judgment is a reality, and it is true, and it will occur. The second argument, the second way is that because these people found it rationally hard to accept that bones and dust will be resurrected, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is another approach in the Quran in which Allah refutes their amazement and their rejection, their rejection of resurrection. He says, for example, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاء بَنَاهَا. He said, are you harder to create than the sky, the canopy? He constructed it, he built it. Meaning that how is it hard to create you and to resurrect you when he's the one who created the canopy of the sky? Likewise he said, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَلَمْ يَعْيَ بِخَلْقِهِنَّ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يُحْيِيَ الْمَوْتَى بَلَىٰ إِنَّهُ عَلَىٰ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. He said, do they not see that Allah, the one who created the heavens and the earth and was not fatigued by creating them, that he is indeed powerful over reviving the dead, bringing the dead back to life. Indeed, he is powerful over everything. And likewise he said, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ النَّشْأَةَ الْأُولَى فَلَوْلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Indeed, you already know about the first creation. You already know about the first creation. Why then do you not take admonition? And likewise he said, كَمَا بَدَأْنَا أَوَّلَ خَلْقٍ نُعِيدُهُ. Just like we initiated the first creation, we shall bring it back. وَعْدًا عَلَيْنَا. A promise from us. إِنَّا كُنَّا فَاعِلِينَ. Indeed, we shall certainly do so. And he also mentioned that returning them, أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ. It is more easy for him. He said, أَفَعَيِينَا بِالْخَلْقِ الْأَوَّلِ بَلْ هُمْ فِي لَبْسٍ مِّنْ خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. Allah says, were we tired by the first creation? But rather they are confused about a new creation, the renewal of the creation. So this is now a second angle. When they thought it was impossible rationally we can't understand it. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a rational argument back. How are you surprised that you will not be resurrected? Haven't you seen the first creation? Haven't you seen the creation of what is even greater than the creation of yourselves? The sky. How can you find it impossible to believe that you will be resurrected? So, we see that the Quraysh, they were bringing these arguments against Muhammad ﷺ and undermining belief in these things. So the Quran came with powerful arguments, powerful rebuttals against them, and established the ba'ath, the resurrection after death. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. The Risala and the Tawheed obviously requires a detailed discussion. So we will leave that inshallah ta'ala for the next lesson. So with that we conclude our lesson today. والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.